Hello dear student, welcome back in my economics class. We are studying Indian Economic Development Unit 7 Current Challenges Facing Indian Economy Chapter 4 Poverty. In the last video we had seen under this chapter meaning of poverty, who are poor, how they are recognized, the two measures of poverty, relative poverty and absolute poverty, categorizing poverty, categories of poverty and poverty line and its limitation. In this video, we are going to study rest of the topic, that is causes of poverty, measures to remove poverty, policies and programs towards poverty alleviation and critical analysis of poverty alleviation program run by the government. So before we proceed further, let us discuss about the trends of poverty in India. Trends, we will discuss the status of poverty or the poor people in the country India, right? So this we will discuss from the year 1973 to 2012. Why so? Why we are not studying about the current status? Because just after the implementation of new economic policy, we need to analyze that how much the country has been developed and what is the rate of growth just after the implementation of liberalization, privatization and globalization. So under that we had studied that different region has been practiced the different thing like HYV seeds and the green revolution, for example, and SSI, small scale industries. So what were the impact of this policies? Does the Indian economy rapidly growth or not? That we are going to study through this status or trends of India, poverty in India, right? So now let us see the trends of poverty in India. Here two different graphs is given. One is showing the number of poor people in million and the second graph is showing head count ratio, that means the percentage of poor people both in urban and rural areas. The two pink color of graph or curve you can see properly. The highlighted pink color is showing the graph of poor people in the rural areas and the lighter one is of urban areas. In both the graph same curve has been used, right? So let us compare. You can see student in 1973 to 1974 the number of poor people were more than 250 million. They were living below the poverty line. You can see clearly through the highlighted dark pink color graph. And that if you will see in the year 2011 and 12, the number has came down and it is about to 20 million. That shows that in the year of 73 to 74, the state or the trend of poor people were very high, which has came down in the year 2011 and 12 to 220 million, right? So surely after the implementation of new economic policies, the poverty rate has been declined but not as expected, right? So if we will talk about the percentage on the basis of head count ratio for the rural areas poor people, so here we can see that in the year of 73 to 74, about 55% of the total population was living below the poverty line. But same in the year 2011 and 12, it has been declined. That means their living of a standard has been raised and it has become only 22%, right? So it is also show, if we'll talk about the million of the poor people either or the head count ratio, that means percentage. So both will shows the same thing, that after the implementation of new economic policy, surely the rate of poverty or the ratio of poor people has been declined, which was very high in the year of 1973 or 1974, has been reduced in the year 2011 and 2012. That means at least 1 or 2% we have achieved the target of new economic policy. But it was not so satisfactory status. Still in the year 2011 and 12, we were facing the problem of poverty. It has not totally eliminated. It was also serious problem in the year 11 and 12. What was the reason behind it? Why we have not achieved the full target or 100% growth? Just because we had discussed already in the previous classes while we were discussing about the new economic policy. The policy which has been made for the agriculture or the other things, foreign trade or industrial policies, this has been practiced only in the few areas or few regions. For example, Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, such as, and some of the region were left out, were ignored totally, like Odisha, Chhattisgarh and West Bengal. So such type of region has been totally ignored. That's why the poverty level has been very different in these regions, right? This means these areas are having more poor people other than the Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, West Bengal and Karnataka, right? Here in the figure 4.4, you can see the population below poverty line in some large states, right? Where the policies, the implementation has been done perfectly and output was 100%, and the other region which were left out and totally ignored. In this graph also you can see two bars has been mentioned. One light color of bar is showing the percentage of 1973 to 1974. Right? Each state, each region's poverty percentage of 1973 to 1974, and the dark pink color of bar is showing the year of 2011 and 12 status. Right? So if we'll talk about the regions, different regions, let us see first Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh in the year of 73 and 74. Two cutoff line you can see. First cutoff line is showing 55% and another second cutoff line is showing 22%. So here you can see the poverty was from 55% to 22% has been reduced in Andhra Pradesh also. In the year 73 to 74, the poverty of Andhra Pradesh in 49%, which was reduced in the year 2011 and 12 and become 11%. So huge decline you can see here from 49 to 11%. Why so? Because the HYCs and the other policies made by the industrial area as well as the agricultural area were highly achieved the growth, right? If we'll talk about the Bihar, in the same year 73 to 74 and 2011 to 2012, you can see Bihar was in 62%. The poverty ratio was of 62%, but it was not came down much more. It was in 2011 and 12 become 34%, right? Why so? Because in the region of Bihar, in the state of Bihar, the policies were not implemented properly. Some resources has been lacking. That's why it was not achieved the target of total output of agriculture or as well as new economic policy. That's why the poverty is being reduced but not so much. Here in the Gujarat also you can see in the year 1973 to 74, the ratio of poverty was 48%. But if we'll talk about the 11 and 12, 2011 and 12, it has become 22%. That means earlier also the poverty rate in the Gujarat was low, not much but low, and it has been also declined highly and become 22%, which is satisfactory level. In Karnataka state, 54% was there in 73 to 74, and in the year of 11 and 12 it has become 25%, right? So highly declined here also we can see. If we'll talk about the Madhya Pradesh is also included, Chhattisgarh here. So it was very high, that is 62%. The poverty rate was 62%, and after the implementation of new economic policy, slightly it's been reduced. Slightly. Still we are under the poor state, coming under the poor state and facing the poverty. Right? Just because of lack of development in the year 2011 and 12, still we are facing the problem of poverty, which is the percentage of 36. Maharashtra, it is 24%, and which were 53% of poverty existing in the year of 73 to 74, and which was reduced highly and become 24. So here you can see the different types of percentage. You can see in Orissa student, it was very high, that is 66%, the poverty state. The level of poverty was 66%, higher than each and every state, right? And it is reduced but not satisfactory, only become 36%. Means still Odisha is facing the problem of poverty and facing the underdevelopment problem, right? So this graph has been showing that after the implementation of new economic policy, just because of some region has been left out, not practicing the new policy, that's why still they are under the poverty. But the state which has been practiced and achieved the target and achieved the output, they are also under the poverty slightly, right? So through the graph 4.4, we can clearly understand that the Andhra Pradesh, which has the poverty status 49%, become 11%. That means huge decline is showing here. That means now Andhra Pradesh is become the developed state, right? Similarly, Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan, you can see. Tamil Nadu, which were having in the year 73 to 74, 46%. And the poverty rate has been reduced till the 16%. It was also the highly reduction in the poverty rate. And now the state Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan, they both are under the development or developed states, right? Even the West Bengal also, it was highly 63% in 73 to 74 year. But after the implementation in the year 11 and 12, you can see it's become 22%. That means achieve a little bit the target of 22%, right? So, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, these regions and states are achieve their target because of the high implementation of new economic policies, but rest of the states, rest of the region has been totally ignored, and still they are living underdevelopment situation and facing the extreme and grief poverty problem, right? I hope you understood the trends of poverty in India. Why we are studying this? Year 1973 to 2012, because these were the year in which the new economic policies has been practiced, right? So on the basis of practice, we are analyzing that how much growth we got or we achieved and how much we developed, right? Now let's proceed further. That is causes of poverty. What should be the causes of poverty? In our region Chhattisgarh, in our state Chhattisgarh, many of the poor people can be seen, and we all are knowing what should be the causes behind the state of poverty. Right? It is not very difficult. Here it is mentioned the main causes of poverty. First, the impact of British rule on Indian economy. The British government, they were not letting the Indian people to develop their agriculture area as well as the other industrial area, because we had already discussed in the chapter 1 that they are importing. The rate of export and import was highly different, right? They were buying our goods in a very cheap rate and selling after making it finished goods in very high rate. That's why they were exploiting the poor people as well as the Indian people to make us poor. They were not letting us to develop. The second cause is economic conditions of farmers since independence and state indebtedness. After the implementation of new economic policy, the distribution of land, that is called land ceiling, were implemented. But still, after getting their land area back, the farmer were not getting the proper resources to produce, to start production, to start the agriculture activity in their farm, in their fields. They are also facing the problem of irrigation. They were also facing the problem of seeds. For that, they were going to ask the loan from the middle person, and by this, the middle person, the money lenders, they were charging the high rate of interest on their loan. So by this, the farmer, they were not very independent to do their activity, to do their agricultural activity. So by this, the farmer were on the burden of huge interest, huge loan, and that is they have to satisfy their family members also, as well as they need to start their agricultural activity also. So it was very difficult for the family to either start a new production or satisfy the basic requirements for their family, and by this they are under the burden of huge loan and huge interest, right? The third cause is high growth rate of population. As they were not properly literate, so they were not knowing about the family planning, so they were not able to control the growth of the population. The population of India was very high after the independence. Indian people were thinking that as much as the children will be in the family, that much the hand for the laborer will be increased. That's why they were not thinking about the family planning, and this leads the high rate of population in India. Still, if you will talk about a well-educated person and a labor person, so that labor will always wanted to raise the child more and more. Why so? Because they want that more hands to help them. Other than the literate person or people, they want single child or two children, just because they are not able to manage them. They understand properly that if the hands will be more, then the satisfaction will also be more and more, right? Means the basic requirements of the more children will be very huge, very high. So it is very difficult to satisfy the basic needs, the basic requirements of many children. That's why the well-educated person, they are only raising one or two children, other than the laborer or a illiterate person. Understood? That's why the population growth were very high that time. Fourth cause is widespread unemployment. Just because of the huge amount of population, explosion of population, it was no job opportunity existing to fulfill all for everyone, for all the population, right? because of the lack of knowledge and experience, because most of the people were only want to engage in the agricultural activity, not in the industrial and the other activities. The person, those who willing to do in industrial activities, they were not having the knowledge and basic skills. That's why they have no job security. No job security means no asset, no savings, and that's why they were living in a state of poverty, right? It is that's why the unemployment spread widespread and become the one of causes of poverty, right? Next is low level of capital formation. Low level of capital formation, same, it is related with the unemployment as well as the population. It was the huge population. Just because of huge population, the people were not getting the employment on the basis of their skill, experience and their interest. As they were not having proper resource or proper source of income or job opportunity, so that they were having very less amount of capital, assets, right? Whatever the limited amount or little amount of assets or capital they were having for any region, for reproduction in their field, for satisfaction, the basic requirement of their family, they need to sell it out to the other person or the middleman, right? So by this they were losing their capital also, they were losing their assets, as well as not able to rebuild it, not able to reform their asset, their capital. It was also the cause behind poverty. Next is lack of infrastructure. Infrastructure means the things which are providing facilities to the population, to the people of a one particular country. On the basis of that, the country can gain or increase the growth, right? GDP, such as the school, hospital and the market system. These are such an example of infrastructure. The Indian people or the country India were lacking of such an infrastructure of schooling, of agricultural marketing, as well as of the other capital industries. So by this they were facing the problem of unemployment. Unemployment leads the selling out of their own capital and lacking of capital formation, and these were also just because of the lack of infrastructure. The British government, they were developed their railway transportation just because it was the need of their own business, right? Other than that, they were not established anything. So the country were still facing the problem of infrastructure. They were not having a proper hospital facility. That leads the low standard of living. They were not having proper education facilities, educational infrastructure, so that they were not able to get the knowledge and experience about how to work and how to raise their standard of living, how to increase the growth of the country, right? It was also a cause behind of poverty, lack of infrastructure. Next is inequality of income and wealth. Yes, still this problem we are facing, right? Inequality of wealth and income means the poor people become more poorer and the rich people become more richer. How? Just because we have less income and the rich people having the more income. By their more income, they are investing more and getting more. By our less income, we are our saving become very less and we are investing less earnings, so we are getting very less income, right? In that case, the inequality is still become an existing nowadays. Eighth cause is rise in general price level. General price level that can also lead of huge rate of commodities and things which we are using, right? So the purchasing power of a people is becoming very low nowadays, because the things are going very high. The price of the things or the basic requirements are going very high, right? So in that case, the people of India are not able to get all those things, because these are having very high, and only rich people can use such a thing, right? Like the basic requirement we are talking about, the pure drinking water, the food, healthy and nutritious food, tasty food, and the proper housing facility in the sanitized and healthy area. So these facilities we are not able to achieve, the people are not able to achieve, because of these things are very the price of these things are very high, right? So in that case, the people, those who are living in a poverty or which has very less earning, they are not able to achieve it. So these things are getting high. The prices of the commodities are also one of the reason behind of poverty. Next is lower level of education. The level of education is very poor in India, right? It is not leading any of the orientation program. After getting pass of class 12, we are not able to get any of the job. For that, the Indian education system must be improved, so that during our schooling study also, while we are studying in a school also, we can get any of the job, right? So for that, the government has to think about and implement some job oriented or opportunity oriented courses should be implemented in the school, so that after studying that or while studying in a school also, student can get their job. They can do some research work and increase their knowledge, increase the growth of the country, right? Next is social factors. Social factors are also one of the cause behind poverty. Why so? Because some of the people are not well educated. Still they want to follow the rituals, the tradition which they were following, which they were using for the production activity, for their earning income. They don't want to adopt the new technology, as well as they are not aware properly from the program run by the government, because just because of their own ignorance. If they will be a well educated, a proper educated, so that they must be take advantages of such a programs run by the government, but they want to become in the frog of in their own pond, right? So due to lack of social welfare will be only possible when the people will come out and they will ask for their development, right? So in that case, the people, they are not aware of such a thing, so they don't want to come out, they don't want to speak up. So until and unless they will not speak up, they will not share their problem, they will not come in front of the administration, so that the welfare is not possible, right? And some of the people, they still following the caste system, caste discrimination and region discrimination. Due to that also, the country India is lacking its own development and facing poverty. Less development means less infrastructure and less productivity. If the growth or productivity will be very less, then surely the poverty will not leave the country. Poor people will still exist. So now the next one is political factors. Political factors are also one of the major cause, I think, behind the poverty. Why so? Because the administration power has been kept in the hand of such a political party or such a political person who's using his power not in the development activity, but development of their own family or himself or herself, right? Some of the corrupt politician parties or political leaders are totally ignoring the rural areas or some of the state or some of the region of the country. Some of the countries are very well developed because there the politician party are very successfully uh, implementing all the plan and policies of the government. Some are taking really a good step, but some corrupted officers wants to fill their own bank account, wants to develop their own family members, and this ritual is following by their either their son, daughter, or their family members, right? So just because of these corrupted people, they are existing in the country, they are existing in a politician party, so that that particular region or the rural area will not be developed, not going to develop, right? For this, the politician factors are also affecting the state of poverty. The next and the last cause is improper utilization of resources. Being an economics student, we all are knowing that our resources are very scarce, very limited. In that case, we must know how to use the limited resources in a best way without wasting it, right? But it is not happening, it is not going on. We just have to make sure that these limited amount of resources should be effectively and efficiently utilized, so that there will be no more wastage or less wastage. But due to underutilization of resources, we are not able to produce maximum amount of output with the limited or small resources, right? So in that case, the output or the production is a low level of production leads to the low level of growth of our country or the region or the area. Low level of growth leads the country in a poverty state, right? So just because of the underutilization of resources or more wastage, the resources is going to be reduced, and we are not able to make it use in a proper way, right? So these are also the causes of poverty. I hope you all understood. As per the discussion about the causes of poverty, now let's think what should be the measures to remove the poverty. What should be the ideas or steps or methods to remove the poverty? Here some methods or measures are given, in which first one is solving poverty by accelerating the pace of economic growth. Yes, the first and most important measure is economic growth. Until and unless the economy will not increase its growth, will not develop more and more, the country will not get rid from such a social and economic problem, poverty. For that, the particular area, each and every area or region or state of a particular country should be developed, and the output, the production of each area should be increased. Until and unless the production will not be increased, the per capita income will not be increased, then the country will be not get the growth of it, right? For getting or for increasing the growth of the country, capital infrastructures are also required, right? As much as capital infrastructure we will having, as much as the industry, the factories, the school, colleges, hospitals, and the other infrastructure we will be having, that much more facilities of job the people will be getting. So in that case, the population should be less than the production. Means I want to say that the growth should be more than the production, should be more than the population. Then only we will able to maintain the growth, right? Growth of the particular country. For that, capital infrastructure is required. For that, the high level of production is required, right? And most important thing is employment, right? As I explained just now, that as much as the capital infrastructure will be increasing, job opportunity will also be increasing. As much as the people will engage in any productive activity or in the employment, that much more income they are generating. More income means more tax means more development, and more development means, as you know, that less poverty, or the growth will be increase or high. By this we can remove the problem of poverty, right? Second is solving poverty by reduction in inequality of income and wealth. Yes, this inequality of income and wealth is a most important hurdle in the way of the development. So what we should do? We have to maintain the equality of income or production between the each of the area, right? There should be no inequality in the income. How we can remove it? As the more decision power of this country are kept in the hand of the rich people. So that should not be do, right? The administration should not give such a right or authority to the rich people to take decision related or about the country or related to the country, right? So this can be a bit solve the problem of inequality. Just because of the decision making power are kept in the hand of the rich people or millionaire, so they used to take decision for their own interest, for the benefits of themselves, right? So this should be not done. Two of the measure has also been given here. By these two measures, two steps, we can solve a problem of inequality of wealth and income. First one is fiscal measure. Okay, as you know, fiscal, the word is related with the taxation and revenue. Taxation and revenue. That means more income, more tax, less income, less tax, right? So by this, the government can maintain the equality between the rich people and the poor people. Means those who's having the more income, they have to pay more percentage of tax, and the poor people have to either no tax or very less amount of, on the basis of their earning. There should be no equality in the rate of tax, right? That can be also solve the problem of inequality of wealth and income, right? So if the poor people will pay less, then they will save more, and their purchasing power will also be more. Purchasing power for what? For buying their basic amenities, basic required things, right? And if we are charging high rate for the rich people or millionaire, so by this the development will be also more and more, because they are contributing a high rate of tax in the treasurer of government, right? So by this also the development will also lead, as well as the inequality will maintain, right? Next measure is given, that is legislative measure, right? To solve the problem of inequality, the next one is legislative measure. In that case, the administration or government should have to give some advantages to the poor people or the underdeveloped area, so that they will get advantage of the program run by the government, as well as by this they can increase the productivity, increase their own income, and more income means more development of that particular area. For that, they must be literate properly. Awareness program should be run time to time for them, so that they will also get aware what are the facilities government has provided for them, so that they can take advantage of it. So these two, fiscal measure and legislative measures, should be done to maintain the balance between the rich people and poor people's income and wealth. Understood? The next and most important factor was explosion of population, right? So in that case, in that area also, we have to control the population. How? By generating the awareness program among the people, those who are not literate properly. In the rural area especially, some of the program run by the government, which is lead to the control of population, right? If the population will be controlled, then the income will more, the more people will get job, and more job means more income, more development, and then we can eliminate the problem or reduce the problem of poverty, right? So population control program should also be run, and we all are knowing that this is going on. These are in the process, basically in the rural areas, right? And some people are also adopting it. Now the people of rural areas, they are also getting aware, and they are also adopting the population control program and participating and also contributing their own ideas and cooperating with the government and administration, right? Next is solving poverty through other related measures. The other ideas, other solution also has been given, like first, agricultural development. It is most important, right? As we all are know that most of the rural areas are dependent on the agricultural productive activity, right? So in that case, the agriculture development should also be lead to decrease the problem of poverty. For that, government has made so many plan and policy. They are providing subsidies in the agricultural tools, tractor, threshers, tube wells, etc. The governments are even providing the high yield variety seeds, and they had established so many agricultural bank to provide loan to the poor farmer for buying their agricultural product and increase the productivity, increase the fertility of their field, of their soil, and increase the output or total production also, right? So this should be lead to the way of the development. If the more development, then surely the poverty problem will decrease. Next is control over inflation. Yes, inflation means the price of the commodities, goods and commodities are going high. That is called inflation. So in that case, the government as well as we should also control the problem of inflation. How we can do it? The prices of basic required things should be less other than the luxurious things, right? So if like the poor people, they are not able to buy the luxurious thing, right? Only the rich type of people used to buy the luxurious thing. So the price, if the price of the luxurious things will be very high, then for buying it, for purchasing it, the people has to spend more money. In that case, in the market, the flow of money will be increases, right? And if the flow of money will increase, then surely the government will getting more tax. In that case, the basic required things like food, shelter, and clothing will be in very less price, right? So that price system should be there in the economy, so that the luxurious things will be little costly than the basic required things, right? For that, the governments are making so many plans also, and one of the measures we had also discussed, like fiscal measures. In that case, the poor people, they should not have to pay more tax. Rich people have to pay more tax, right? But this also we can control over the inflation. If the flow of income, flow of money will be enough in the market, so that there will be no problem of inflation, right? The purchasing power of the rich people should be under control, right? Okay. Next is increase in generation of employment opportunity. It is very mandatory to increase the employment facilities. As much as the opportunity the people will be getting, that much their increasing their own income, and per capita, if the per capita income or the per person income will increase, surely the area will develop and the country will also develop, right? So for that, the government has to take some steps to provide facilities of job, to provide the job opportunity. For that, the government also making some of the plan, and time to time they are organizing the job orientation training or programs, right? In further we will be studying under the program run by government, right? Next is minimum need program for the poor. The program which has been made or run by the government, that is minimum wages or minimum need program, that should be work in a proper way, right? It should be effectively implemented, then only the poor people will get benefit of it, and the problem of poverty will remove, it will be reduced. Like we can see in rural areas, the government has established the taps, drinking water taps, right? They are also providing rationing facility to them for the poor people, ration card, below poverty card, green card. So by these facilities we can help the poor people and minimize the number of poor people, which is going on. The programs are going on, which we are going to discuss in just after that. Next is regional balanced growth. Yes, it is very much important that not only the urban area will be increase its growth, the rural area should also be come in the pace of growth, right? So both rural and urban area will be, if they both will be balancedly means equally developed, then only the country will be developed, the growth will increase. For that, the government has to take initiative to increase the growth of the underdeveloped area to the backward areas as well as rural areas, right? Like before, like after independence, some of the area was like that where access was impossible. But nowadays, due to Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana or Sadak Nirman Yojana, each and every people can access to the backward areas also, right? So such type of development should be there in the backward areas, in the rural areas, to maintain the balance, to maintain the regional balance and increase the growth of the country. The next one is development of industries. It is very much important. As much as the industries will increase the development, that means more production. More production means high level of income, and high level of income contribute in the high rate of GDP. And as you know, high rate of GDP means the problem of poverty will remove, right? So it is important. For that also government has taken so many plan. They are FDI, they are promoting FDI, foreign direct investment. Even they are providing facility for the industrial sector to set up their industries in the rural area, so that the development of rural area will also be equally developed like the urban areas, right? The next solution is public distribution system should be strengthened. When the public distribution will be strengthened, when the government will taking the initiative steps and going towards each area personally and looking after the development is going on, the program is properly implementing or not. For that, the administration should have the direct control. They should not give control over such type of politician party or the political leader who is corrupted, right? The government has to take initiative and direct control over the program run by the government, that they are implementing very well or not. The rationing societies are, the cooperative societies are providing proper rationing to the poor people or not. The awareness programs are still going on, or it's becoming success or not. The causes behind the failure of awareness program, why the rural peoples are still not get aware of such a program. So these types of inquiries should be done by the government. If the government will be looking after such a thing and doing inspection time to time, so that the public distribution system will be strengthened and the problem of poverty and number of poor people will surely decrease. Last is provision of social security. As we were talking, that social inequality, right, was also one of the problem, one of the hurdle of the in the way of development. So for that, the government should also provide the social security. Social security means nowadays so many social security programs has been run by the government, like old age pension, the one who has no children or no such a responsible person to take the responsibility of the people, so the government are providing a pension for the one person, right, and providing fund and like insurance, right, and what Jan Dhan Yojana and such type of program. And for the girl child, they are also providing some Sukanya Yojana. So under that facility, the number of poor people can be reduced. By this, the government are providing the help for the poor people, like they had provided the gas cylinder, subsidy gas cylinder, right. So such type of facility if the government will provide, so surely the social security will be strengthened. And if the poor people will get the social security, they will only concentrate in the earning more and more income, and more income leads to the less poverty, right. So these were the solution or the step which can be taken by the government, also by the other areas, other industrial person, other rich people, to remove the problem of poverty, right. As now I was talking about the program which is run by the government, I told that we will study in further. So let's see what are the program run by the government to eliminate the poverty. These programs are called Poverty Alleviation Program or PAP, right. It is a very important topic. Always it is asking in a 6 marks of question or 4 marks of question, right. So it is very important in the point of view of board exam. So let us discuss what are the policies and program and Poverty Alleviation Program or PAP run by the government, right. So the government has made the 3 approaches on the basis of their policies are going on, right. 3 basic approaches the government has set. Under all these 3 approaches, so many program and policies is going on. So the first one is growth oriented approach. Growth oriented approach, here the government is concentrating to increase the growth of a particular area, region, state, so that the country will increase the growth, right. So under the growth oriented program, the government is making the plan and policy to connect the backward areas to the rural areas to the urban area, so that they can easily access, they can easily sell their output, their total production in the urban areas and get more and more income. Like Pradhan Mantri Sadak Nirman Yojana, right. By this yojana, the government is connecting the rural areas and urban areas. And if the people will easily access rural and urban area, so that the development will also be possible. The industries can also be developed in that particular area. Small scale industries are going to establish in the backward and rural areas, and the governments are providing so many facility for the agriculture production, right? Like they had established the agricultural bank to provide loan for the agriculture stuff, providing subsidies in the agricultural tools. So by this types of facility or program, the government wants to increase the growth of the rural area. And if the growth will increase, so that the government, the first program of the government will be successful, and then the government will make another program to develop more. The next approach is specific poverty alleviation program. This specific poverty alleviation program is not only meant for the rural area, it is also meant for the poor people residing in the urban areas, right? Like rural employment guarantee program. Under this, the governments are generating awareness among the people of rural areas that instead of the agriculture, they can do the another job also, like poultry farm, like animals husbandry, okay, like the other productive activity instead of agriculture. For that, they are providing even training, as well as they are providing loan to restart or to establish their own self-employment. Second is Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana. This Rozgar Yojana is not only meant for the rural people, this is for the urban areas people also, for both, right? So those who are having some education facility, that means those who are well educated, they can get benefit through this Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. Under this also, governments are providing loan to the people, those who are under educated or not well educated, right? So they can start their own self-employment and get income, right? So under this 2003 to 2005, 3.5 million people, they got employment, their self-employment under this scheme, right? So this is meant for both urban and rural areas of people. Next one is Swarna Jayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana. This is meant for the urban areas poor people, right? So under this, the poor people of the urban area, they can also get benefit. They can also start their own business, like a tailoring shop, like a vegetable shop, like a grocery shop, their own garment shop. Okay, so such type of facility they can get from the program run by the government. Next is Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana. Under this Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, the government give loan to the such a group of 5 or 10 people, and in that group the governments are providing financial support, so that first of all they can establish their own business, and after getting established, this group has to help the another poor people, okay, and making chain of it. So by this the poverty can be easily eradicated from that area. So this has been initiated by government to enhance, right, to introduce the self-help group, and through this self-help group the government wants to go or to each and every family in the both rural and urban area, and provide the financial assistance, so that the families, those who are living in a poverty line, they can rebuild their own employment, they can start their own business, and by this a small finance or microfinance, they can get benefits and earn more income. Okay, for example, like 10 of people, they get loan from any of the bank through the self-help group, through the Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, they can get a loan. And this group of 10 people, first of all, they have to establish their own business, right? After getting income from their own business, they need to help such type of other families or other people to establish their business, right? So by this, the government wants to make a chain, and this self-help group will providing help through the government to the other poor people, right? It is just like that. I'm taking loan from the government, and thereafter I'm making my own business. Then from my saving, from my earning, I'm giving loan to the other people, right? And those people who are needy, they will also start their own business, and this income they will give back to me, and then I'll give to some another needy person or poor people, right? I hope you understood. Next is Sampoorn Gramin Rojgar Yojana. Under this Gramin Rojgar Yojana, the governments are providing the 100 days of working wage, right? This is a wage employment. So mainly set for the laborer. So the laborers, those who are not getting the opportunity of job properly, so due to any reason, so they can get facilitate through this Sampoorn Gramin Rojgar Yojana. Under this, the governments are providing them 100 days of wages, 100 days of job opportunity, so that they can engage in these 100 days and get income. They will not face the problem of poverty whether they don't have job, right? It is 100% guarantee of 100 days wages for each people in the rural areas, right? Next is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Guarantee Act, Manrega, that we know, right? Which has been started in 2005. This is also meant for the people, those who are not literate, the people, those who are engaged in the labor work, right? Wages work, wages employment. So this benefits is providing for them. Under this, not only they are providing the 100 days of Rojgar guarantee, even they are providing the food facilities also, right? National Food for Work program also has been run and controlled under this Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, right? So even they will be getting the 100 days of wages. Apart from that, they will getting the food grain also, and the laborers, those who have the small child or the children, little children, so for them they have to keep their children, they have to leave their children in the Anganwadi Kendra, which has been set up by the government, right? So these facilities has been provided under the Manrega Act. So these were the program run under the specific poverty alleviation program. And the last one is meeting the minimum need of the poor. First of all, the government has concentrated to increase the growth of the rural and backward areas. Secondly, under the different types of Rojgar Yojana, the government has providing fund and job and wages to the people of even rural and urban areas. And now third, the governments know that what the poor peoples are required, what are the basic things they required, right? So for meeting their basic required things, what the governments are taking steps. Now let's see. So meeting the minimum need of the poor. What should be the minimum need for the poor people? First of all, food, right? For that, the government has providing the food grain subsidies, right? The governments are providing low rate for their food grains. As I told, that cooperative rationing societies are providing rationing to the poor people in a very cheap rate. Rice, wheat, sugar, pulses, okay, grains, the other grains also has been distributing through this rationing cooperative society run by the government in a very cheap rate. And this facilities is only for the poor people, the people, those who are living below the poverty line, right? The next one is generating employment to increase the living standard of the poor people, so that they will not face the social factors, right? And they will get aware of all the program run by the government, and as well as if the standard of living of a family will increase, surely the area will also develop, right? So for that also the governments are providing such a facility for job oriented and providing loan to establish their own self-employment, own business, create employment opportunity, right? Third basic requirements is shelter, right? Food, clothing by generating employment, and then shelter. For this, the government has been made so many housing societies for the mainly poor people, right? Like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Atal Bihari Awas Yojana. So under this, the governments are providing a good and sanitized healthy environment for the poor people for living. And if they will live in a proper healthy environment atmosphere, so that they will not get sick time to time, and they will increase the standard of living of their family, right? Also, the governments are providing best education facility for even girl child and the boy child, that is free of cost, right? From the year 1 to from the year 3 to 14 years, there will be totally free education for both girl and boy child in both rural and urban area, right? Or in that education system, the government has also providing midday meal, so that more and more children will get registered in such a program and get benefit of education, right? So through the food they will get education also, right? So this are the basic needs which the poor people were required and given by the government. So by these three approaches, the government wants to eradicate the problem of poverty, right? The other social security is also provided by the government, like a national old age pension scheme, right? Pradhan Mantri Pension Yojana, maybe you heard about it. And national family benefit scheme, under that if the family is planning to control the population, so that government will raise fund for them, they will for appreciating them, the governments are providing financial reward to them. National maternity benefit scheme, under that the governments are providing 1 to 5,000 rupees to the women who's going to deliver a child, so that the children will be live in a healthy environment, right? Also the free hospital facility as well as the convenience facilities has been provided by the government under the other social securities, right? But apart from these facilities designed, implemented by the government, are there such a program running properly? If the programs are running properly, then why so still the poor people are existing? This is a very important topic, right? So if such a program which we had discussed, these programs are very nice. If effectively such a program will run, so there will be not a single poor people will be exist in the country. But maybe there are some hurdle, there are some problem in implementing, or maybe the people are not get aware of such a facility. That's why the program, the PAP, Poverty Elevation Program, is not being successful. So let us discuss the critical evaluation of poverty elevation programs, right? Under the critical assessment, critical evaluation, we are analyzing that what are the achievements we got through the plan and policy, through the implementation of programs, and what are the shortcomings where we become failure, right? Both positive and negative things we are discussing under the critical analysis and evaluation. So here let us discuss about the achievement first. the achievement, the target was more than 80%, but it was achieved 37.2. 37 point means 37.2% people have been started living above the poverty line, right? So that means the program become successful in some area. So some of the areas of people, the standard of living become raised, and then they are not living in a below poverty line, they are living in a above poverty line. The growth oriented program was also become successful in a backward areas. Now the backward areas are not so called backward, they are called rural areas, right? Because the access is possible in each of the corner of these urban areas. The people are coming to the urban areas and selling their output, selling their products in a on the basis of market rate, and getting more income, as well as investing more production activities, right? So by this, their standard of living has been raised, their income, their generation of income has been increased, and then the level of poverty been decreased. And through the poverty alleviation program also, so many poor people, poor families, they got employment, they got proper wages, as well as the through the social securities, they have their own account through the Jan Dhan Yojana, as well as the girl child, they are getting the bicycles for going school, the children are getting food. So in some area, the program has been run successfully, right? But some of the hurdles and shortcomings are also existing, and not letting the program become 100% successful. These are due to unequal distribution of the land area, right? So some of the poor farmer, they don't have land area, they need to take it in a rent, right? And in that area they used to do their production activity. So they don't want to invest more amount in the others field, right, which they have taken as a rent. So for this thinking, the problem of poverty cannot be reduced. Some of the poor people, they don't want to shift their productive activity from agriculture to the other productive activity, right? They only want to do the agricultural activity. They think that we knows only to do agriculture, so that we will do in that, whether they are getting more income or not, right? They don't want to shift from agriculture to the other income generating activity, their own business they don't want to get start. Some of the area still they are not aware what program is going on by the government, right? Lack of awareness, lack of the total control by such an administrator, the areas are still left over, still ignored. Nowadays also some of the rural areas are not having a proper drinking water, pure drinking water, electricity problem they are having, road transportation problem they are having. So this problem still existing in some of the rural area, which has been ignored by the some corrupted administration, right? So it is in some of the area the program is run 100% successfully, but in some of the area it's been totally ignored, right? Reason can be many, due to lack of active participation by the people, or by the government is not taking initiative, not personally inspecting such a thing that programs are implementing properly or not. So these can be factors, right? So I hope you understood the lesson very well. Poverty, this is one of the economic and social problem hurdle in the development of each country, which we are facing very high nowadays, very much nowadays, right? So if you have any doubt in any topic, any point, you may ask either through the WhatsApp, or you may write your question. You may ask your question through the comment box. Till then, take care, keep study and make notes. Thank you.